Before we get into this, just know something real. I'm not in my usual space tonight. I'm moving through another city, another schedule, another set of responsibilities. But even out here, in between meetings, miles, and moments, you crossed my mind. Not as numbers, not as plays, as people. People who carry things quietly, people who think deeply, people who don't always say what's really going on. There's something about nights like this, when the world finally slows down just enough that you cannot hide from your own thoughts anymore. And I could have waited to record this, pushed it to be a better time, a more controlled environment, but that's not how this works. Because the same way this moment found me on the road is going to find you wherever you are. So before we go any further, wherever you are listening from, just know you have been on my mind. And this one tonight, this isn't noise. This is one of those quiet conversations that stays with you longer than expected. Now it's time to step into it. It's late. The room is quiet. No notifications. No conversations. No noise to lean on. Just the ceiling. Your thoughts and that one feeling you don't really talk about during the day. Everything in your life looks fine. Nothing is falling apart. Nothing is urgent. Nothing is wrong. And that's what makes this harder to face. What if you have been settling and calling it enough? Not because you are lazy, not because you don't care, but because what you have right now is comfortable enough to not force change. You've handled your responsibilities. You have stayed consistent. You have done what was expected. And over time, you learned how to live inside that rhythm. But every once in a while, usually when it gets quiet like this, something surfaces. Not loud, not dramatic, just a thought that doesn't leave. What if there's more in me than this? And here's where it gets uncomfortable. It's not that you can't do more. It's that doing more will require you to become someone different. Because more isn't just about effort. It's about change. Not expectations. New risk, new standards, new way of life. And that means letting go of the version of you that learned how to survive where you are. There are seasons in your life, and you adjust to them. You do not wear the same things in every season because it wouldn't make sense. But some of you are still holding on to the version of yourself that no longer fits where you are. And instead of changing, you've learned how to live with discomfort. You're not stuck. You are just comfortable enough to stay the same. And that's attention. Because your life isn't bad. But it's also not fully aligned with what you are capable of. And that creates a quiet pressure. Not enough to force action, but enough to remind you that something isn't being used. Think about the last time you felt that pull. Not excitement, not motivation, just a quiet awareness that you were capable of more. Where were you? What were you doing? And more importantly, what did you do after you felt it? Did you move? Or did you go back to what was familiar, what was comfortable? Because most people do not ignore that feeling once, they ignore it until it becomes normal. And that is the scary part. There's a difference between being grateful for what you have and settling for less than what you were meant to become. And recognizing the difference requires honesty, a true self analysis. Let's keep this simple tonight. You are not lost. You are not incapable. You are not behind. But you might be settling. If this question stayed with you, don't ignore it. Sit with it. And if you know someone who is been feeling this but hasn't said it out loud, send this to them, because some conversations are not meant to be loud. They're meant to be felt. Those thoughts that show up when everything gets quiet, they are not random. They are not there to disturb you. They are there to show you something. And what you choose to do after you recognize it, that's where your life starts to shift. This is the Eminence Legacy podcast. Have a peaceful night. And remember, settling doesn't always look like failure. Sometimes it looks like comfort. Together, let's rise to our eminence. Catch you on the next one.